Alright guys, welcome back to what I think is either episode 3 or 4. And to be completely honest, I'm so far behind on the whole editing thing that I lost track of what footage I have and what's gonna be what episode. So we'll see in the future, I guess. A lot of things have changed. First and foremost, the rusty list is gone. Yes, there was a big sheet of cardboard here with all the little rusty spots that I needed to repair in order to prepare the car. And I've done them all. The only thing that is now left to do is the front panel. The second thing that changed, and probably most notably, is that the car is no longer on the rotisserie. Well, it is on part of the rotisserie, part of it is lying around here. I kept the moving sled, built up a new thing, so now I can only move the car on its wheels. So I don't have to turn it around its axis anymore. I'm done working on the bottom side, all the rust is gone. I also needed to get rid of the whole rotating thing, because then I could get access to this part over here. This is the last piece that needs to be replaced, but it's more of like a direct replacement. I only have to undo all the spot welds that are on there now. I drill them out and then replace it with the new panel. So it's kind of straightforward job. Other than that, the whole car is now rust free, which means that I can finally move on to the next step.
Whoa, hold your horses there, buddy. Before we can do anything on the front mask, we first have to revisit some old spots.
One of the things that I have to revisit is the trunk lid or the hatch, and I did replace it with a panel. However, that panel ended up being like this. I also had a lot of trouble getting the windscreen wiper mechanism in the right way. So I'm gonna approach it a little bit different now. Instead of making the hole first and then trying to wiggle that in, I'm gonna put this in the right position first and then weld and create the patch panel to fit. So yeah, a little bit of fiddling. We'll see how it turns out. Cool, so it's all nice and flush now. I thought I could go in with the body filler, but I can't, because I found more rust. Oh, it's a never-ending story. I will fix this as well and then go back to the body filler.
After taking care of the dent behind the screens, I started focusing on the front mask. What you're seeing here is a front mask I got from eBay, and it actually belonged to a Caddy Mark 1, which is basically a Golf with a truck bed behind it. I started out with removing the paint, and then I took care of all the huge bolt holes that were left there from the front lip that was on there. And after that, it was basically patching it up in a way that I could fit back to the car again.
finished fabricating the stuff that needed to be fabricated on the front mask. It's actually over here, looking, well, not that good yet because there's still a lot of body work to be done. I'm super happy, especially about this piece here that I took out of the car. So it's not a complete changeover. There's still a bit of stuff that is being carried over, and it's like a gift that keeps on giving. So the whole thing has gotten me a little bit enthusiastic, and I just want to continue. It's Friday afternoon now, and the next step for the whole thing is to like remove the old front mask. As you can see, I've already started drilling out some spot welds. It revealed rust, so I think it's good that I do this whilst waiting on that, because that will probably also need some more fabrication. I also brushed away all the rust and stuff to hopefully reveal the places where the spot welds could be. I also have, of course, the panel as a reference, so that's nice. I know that it's gonna be spot welded here, and then here inside, let's see, can you see it? I don't know. There's probably gonna be a couple of cuts that I have to make there, so, but yeah, let's see how far I can come tonight. Let's go. Oh lordy lord, look at this. The nose is off. That's part one of the nose job. Sort of done. Okay, so what happened? The drill bits that I ordered did not come in. And what I found out was that the majority of the bumper wasn't held in place by spot welds, but rather by like very thick weld beads that I couldn't access with an angle grinder or whatever. So I just took to grinding the whole nose off because it wasn't going to be used anyway, and sort of hack it away instead of carefully building it out of the car, which the guys of the replacement panel did a way better job of. But hey, it's out. That's the most important thing, and I think I can show you why this whole replacement thing has to be done. It's even worse than I thought. First of all, look at all the crap. This is like rusty stuff that came out of it. This fell on the ground whilst working on it. Chips of paint, and then whoa, this whole panel here just rusted and crusted, and oh my lord. Yeah, that's a good call that I took it out, and yeah, what's left to do now is prepare it for the new panel. There are some spots left from the spot welding. I drilled through the outer body to get rid of these spot welds. I want to fill them and re-drill them so I can spot weld them in later. This is still part of the bumper. It has to come off. This is actually still part of the whole nose. It has to come off, but I wanted to carefully grind down all of these spot welds here, so I don't accidentally drill holes in the parts that later have to be welded to. Yeah, I'm gonna take care of cleaning it all up, and then yeah, the next shot is probably gonna be me test fitting the whole new nose. Wish me luck. All right, back at it. New day. I did some preparatory work behind the scenes. We're almost looking at a complete car here. Really? 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 Nah, not really. For now, I just mocked it up. I thought it would be important to check if all the panels line up at least a little bit before like finally welding the whole thing into place. And it seems to be the case. I've checked, of course, the hood. There are these little side panel gaps that run all the way through. They look good. Other side as well. I put in the grill pieces. Couldn't find that other one. Maybe it got lost or it got trashed. I don't know yet. But I put in the grills just to get a sort of an overview of what the car will look like. So yeah, pretty happy with that. For now, I'm gonna take it all apart again. Do some final prep, like paint some stuff, and then weld it in. Get this facelift done. Time lapse. All right, I'm hyped. I'm super hyped. The thing is in. Look at it. It's in its place. It's not going anywhere. Here. Bam! So yeah, I just finished grinding down all the plug welds that I had to make in order to make it fit. I'm gonna go and get in with the primer and that sort of stuff afterwards. But for now, I would say nose job done. Not a complete facelift, more like a face swap. I think you have an app for that. Well, doesn't matter. Little tangent. Yeah, super happy with it. Look at the God ray. Oh, there's like sunlight coming in here. It's like, buzzing, pumping, whatever you want to call it. And with that, you would say that all the sheet metal work is now done, right? Right? Wrong. No, we're not done yet. You see, I started thinking about the roof job that I did, and it turned out that welding in a straight piece of sheet metal made the roof warp and twist and in all sorts of ways. And at the beginning I thought I would be okay with that and I would be able to fix that with body filler later. But then I realized how inconsistent and inconsequent it would turn out. So I would probably never be able to do a proper job like this. So what to do next? Well, it turned out that on a local junkyard not too far from here, there was actually another Mark 1 Golf sitting. It was completely rotted out. There was rust coming through the floorboards. It was almost cracking in half, but it did have a roof that was all intact. So I went over there and I asked the owner if I could have the complete roof. He said, sure. He cut it off completely. We strapped it to the roof of my daily and then we drove it here and now I have it here. So, and there's a couple of cool things about it. It's like for starters, it already was a closed roof. So it never came with a sunroof. It's a pristine sheet of metal. Pristine? Whatever. And two, not being a sunroof car, it actually came with the extra strap that I would need to brace this area here. So there's like, I don't know if you can see it over there, but it's the place where the strap used to go. It's something like this. And this car has only got one of them, but the replacement roof has two. So that also solves that problem. Cool. So now how to go about removing the roof skin, basically, because I don't need the whole roof structure. The cool thing about these cars is that like they have a basic structure. I put a roof skin on top of it. Here it is. Got like a whole microcosmos of little fungi going on here. So how to get this off of this? In other words, how is it attached to the rest of the frame? My first idea was that I would use welds, as they will do on other body panels. But then I actually took a look at the crosscut where the guy cut the roof. So as you can see, like this is the roof metal here, the roof panel, and it meets here, and then it's sort of rolled over by the other panel, and that's how it's kept in place. So that made me think, what if I would just cut it here, like basically get rid of the rain gutter, and then see if I can take the roof off. And what do you know? Seems to be the case. Took this ridge off here. There it is. Right, there it is. And then I took some pliers, started taking this apart, and it turns out that this actually is a separate piece. So what I'm gonna do now is go to the other side, make the same cut. Then I should have a roof panel that is good to go, in theory. So set up a time lapse, I'm gonna start cutting and see you guys back in a second. Right, little in-between update. Things aren't going completely according to plan. The first edge that I cut out I cut out this ledge, and then I should be able to fold it over as I did over here. So far, so good. The other side, however, poses a bit more of a problem. This side has been rusting and rotting, and somebody has done a very crappy repair job. I mean, not as crappy as the current solution for my car right now, but still pretty crappy. I won't be able to just do a slip-on, slip-off thing as I was hoping for. It doesn't matter, I'm still gonna use it because it's just way better than the roof that I have on right now. But it's also the end of the day, so I'm gonna sleep on it a little bit, figure out how I'm gonna use this, where I'm gonna cut it, that sort of stuff. And then get back tomorrow morning, fresh energy, fresh motivation, and continue this. All right, it's the next morning. I figured out what I want to do with the roof, and I actually already started on doing that. See here the result of my labor so far. So yeah, like I mentioned, this part horrible, but I want to keep most of it. Especially I want to keep like this little fold here. If I can save this, because I cannot recreate this myself, I probably can like do this, make like a little lap weld with the old side, but this is very important. If I can save that, I think we're in good water. Is that a thing they say? I don't know. But that's also what I set up my cutting lines to do. I have this line, I have the tape area, and then remember the other side of the roof has already been cut in theory, because that's the cut that I made yesterday. So yeah, little time lapse, gonna start cutting, gonna be multiple shadow passes, and then at some point we'll be through it and hopefully can liberate the whole thing. We'll see. So yeah, cut to a time lapse of that.
After liberating the roof skin of its former structure and some embarrassing white boy dancing, I took the brace and fitted that to my car. And then I took my now new skin and used it as a reference for cutting my old roof. And what you can also see me do is creating a lip of about a centimeter, which is the width of the tool that I could then use for flanging it and lap welding it. And then, surprise, surprise, I found more rust, so I had to take care of that before putting the skin back on.
Alright, I just made an awesome convertible. It's almost a shame that I have to put the roof on back. I was actually considering maybe putting like a big sheet of Lexan in there, just make it one transparent roof like they would have at Pin My Ride or whatever. But I'm not gonna. No, I'm gonna put the roof back on. I've actually done a lot. Cut the old roof out, prepared the new roof for the cut, and it turned out to be quite of a puzzle, and I can show you why. Let's hop in there, shall we? Alright, so I made my life, of course, as hard as possible again, because what I did, on one hand, I don't want to do any butt welding for this roof. My skill is just not up to the task to get that done without the roof warping again. I'm just too worried about that. So I'm gonna lap weld everything. I got the tool for that, for the flanging tool, the same thing I used for the wheel arches. So I was gonna go about it like that. The other thing I wanted to do was to maintain as much of the new roof as possible. I wanted to make the cuts in a way that I would have the largest sheet possible. And I did that. And then I traced that sheet onto the old roof, cut out the old roof, and that's where the trouble started. Well, it's not really trouble, challenge. That's where the challenge started. Because, as you can see, this is where I cut out. And the idea, like I even made the marking for the flange. This was gonna be the flange, and the idea was that I was gonna make the flange here. However, it turns out that my little flange tool here is never in hell gonna fit this side, nor is it gonna fit this side or the back side. But not to worry, I fixed that. Instead of flanging this edge, I put the flange on the roof panel, which is over there, baking in the sun. The other thing is that also the hole punch tool, which is the other side of the tool, is not able to fit. So I have to drill all the holes for the plug welds by drilling instead of punching them. So yeah, challenge, not impossible. I actually already did a dry run, like I fitted the roof. It fits super snug, and it's a hassle to get it in because I have flanges on 3 sides. So what I have to do in order to get the roof in is slide it in one side, then do the front side, slide it forward even further, so I can then lower it and slide it backwards so that also the back lip fits. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna prepare all the little holes for the plug welds. Yeah, then it's ready for plug welding. All right, I think I'm ready. Got the roof all mocked up, the best I can get it right now. Now I'm gonna very carefully start block welding this in. I only have one chance, but you know, no matter how it turns out, it's gonna be better than what's on there before. So nervous about it, but you know, stay concentrated. So yeah, I will start working and then check back with you guys when I'm back.
Nose job done, roof job redone. It took the better half of a summer, but I think it's well worth it. And sure, I could have sanded down this body filler before taking this shot, but hey, what you gonna do about it? So with the car now rust-free, it's ready for the next step, which is, you guessed it, paint preparation. That's gonna have to wait for another episode. For now, if you have been, thank you for watching, and I see you next time.